Happiness is the highest good. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. The only way to deal with life's difficulties is to face them with courage. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. A man who is averse from pain, and willing to undergo the labor of thought, will be led to truth. A wise man proportions his belief to the evidence. Beauty is no quality in things themselves. It exists merely in the mind which contemplates them. Generally speaking, the errors in religion are dangerous, those in philosophy only ridiculous. It is seldom that liberty of any kind is lost all at once. No man ever threw away life while it was worth keeping. Reason is, and ought only to be, the slave of the passions. The life of man is of no greater importance to the universe than that of an oyster. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. He who fights with monsters might take care lest he thereby become a monster. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. In every real man, a child is hidden that wants to play. In heaven, all the interesting people are missing. It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. We love life, not because we are used to living, but because we are used to loving. Without music, life would be a mistake. Act as if the maxim of your action were to become, through your will, a universal law. All our knowledge begins with the senses, proceeds then to the understanding, and ends with reason. Enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-imposed immaturity. Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. From such crooked wood as that which man is made of, nothing straight can be fashioned. Happiness is not an ideal of reason, but of imagination. Morality is not the doctrine of how we may make ourselves happy, but how we may make ourselves worthy of happiness. Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. The death of dogma is the birth of morality. The only objects of practical reason are therefore those of good and evil. Two things fill the mind with ever-increasing wonder and awe. The more often and the more intensely the mind of thought is drawn to them. The starry heavens above me and the moral law within me. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. A man who loses his honor has nothing left. Free people, remember this maxim. We may acquire liberty, but it is never recovered if it is once lost. Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. The strongest is never strong enough to be always the master, unless he transforms strength into right, and obedience into duty. The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless. Those who are most slow in making a promise are the most faithful in the performance of it. Virtue is a state of war, and to live in it we have always to combat with ourselves. We do not cease to play because we grow old. We grow old because we cease to play. Man is condemned to be free, because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does. All men are liable to error, and most men are, in many points, by passion or interest, under temptation to it. Education begins the gentleman, but reading, good company, and reflection must finish him. I have always thought the actions of men the best interpreters of their thoughts. New opinions are always suspected and usually opposed without any other reason, but because they are not already common. Our business here is not to know all things, but those which concern our conduct. Reading furnishes the mind only with materials of knowledge. It is thinking that makes what we read ours. The actions of men are the best interpreters of their thoughts. The end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. The improvement of understanding is for two ends. First, our own increase of knowledge. Secondly, to enable us to deliver that knowledge to others. The only defense against the world is a thorough knowledge of it. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. At the touch of love everyone becomes a poet. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Cogito, ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Divide each difficulty into as many parts as is feasible and necessary to resolve it. I am indeed amazed when I consider how weak my mind is and how prone to error. I am thinking, therefore I exist. I think, therefore I am. If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. It is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. The reading of all good books is like a conversation with the finest minds of past centuries. An unexamined life is not worth living. The only thing I know is that I know nothing. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The unexamined life is not worth living. True knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. A wise man is he who knows that he knows nothing. Curiosity is the lust of the mind. I am about to take my last voyage, a great leap in the dark. Leisure is the mother of philosophy. The condition of man is a condition of war of everyone against everyone. The privilege of absurdity, to which no living creature is subject but man only. To this war of every man against every man, this also is consequent, that nothing can be unjust. Words are the money of fools. Common sense is not so common. Doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainty is absurd. Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. It is better to risk saving a guilty person than to condemn an innocent one. It is dangerous to be right in matters where established men are wrong. Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. Love truth, but pardon error. Prejudices are what fools use for reason. The more I read, the more I acquire, the more certain I am that I know nothing.